Hey there, guys and gals. Welcome to the 2023 Dungeon in a Box year-end special huge percentage off clearance sale unboxing. My whole D&D crew and I unboxed the Year in a Box bundle for 2022 a while back. I grabbed this one as well because there's so much stuff. If you don't know what Dungeon in a Box is, it's a subscription service where once a month they send you a one-shot, and then occasionally there's some extra stuff. But at the end of the year, whichever ones didn't sell as a subscription service, they put in a big box for a big discount, and they send this one out. Unfortunately, by the time this video comes out, I'm pretty sure this one won't be available anymore. I apologize for that. I will hopefully be getting better at doing things more on time in the near future. But by the time this video comes out, I'm pretty sure this one won't be available anymore. I apologize. But I want to show you what's in this one because in addition to like each of the month's subscription, they also send you extra stuff. This year it seems like most of the extra stuff isn't here, but we're going to go through them. So there's at least 12 one-shots. There's a bunch of terrain. All of it is from the same company that does Skinny Minis. So they're miniature style is acrylic miniatures that are kind of thick. They're not like Arknight's flat plastic miniatures. They're a little bit thick. They have art on both sides. Dungeon in a Box way is like you get a booklet, which is what that one shot is going to be, and then you get all the minis and a map, and sometimes you get 3D terrain for that. Not always though. I'm going to run through these. I'm going to show you guys what you get in the 2023 year-end bundle if you were to grab it. Me going through this stuff is going to help you figure out if you want to get into Dungeon in a Box stuff. Because if you're just starting out, or if you've been a DM but you're like not sure how to run the next session or what have you, Dungeon in a Box has a lot of good stuff for you to keep and just have on the ready, which is amazing. And because the miniatures are basically flat, you also have an easy storage solution. They have their own, basically they're like card binders, but obviously not for cards. It's smaller because it's for their minis. It's an easier way to store a ton more minis than you would if you had like 3D printed minis, because storage space is not optimal for most of us in this hobby. Without further ado, I'm going to pop open the first box, which is, I think, most of the regular one-shots that come in it. Speaking of minis, oh, some of mine are already popped open. That's fine. Oh, these are large, which is great because Skinny Minis doesn't usually give out a lot of large bases. Oh, they even have huge and gargantuan. Oh, I don't know about gargantuan, but they even have huge. This is amazing. Also, a little strange thing is that these holes are bigger. Sorry, I'm trying to get actually on the camera. These slots are bigger, but most of Skinny Minis have the same size little slot at the bottom. These are mini bases for your small and medium creatures. These are mini bases for large. These are mini bases for huge. On my channel, I've done a video before showing you how to make these bases, well, generally working on these and these size bases, because the original version of the Skinny Minis base used to literally shatter when you tried to put a mini in it if it wasn't in like exactly correct. These all look like V2 bases, so they should last longer than the V1 bases did, which is good. I'll definitely put a card annotation thing in the top right to that video if you want to look at it. As I was saying before, Skinny Minis thing is acrylic miniatures. They're kind of thick if you can see down there. These particular minis, I think, were Kickstarter 2 stretch goals, so I do actually have a set of these already. They might have also come in last year's subscription box end of the year thing, but these are your winged mounts. And the cool thing is, like, you put them in the base, so you slot them in the base. But these guys have wings, so the wings actually get slotted into the side of the mini. So there is, like, some degree of being 3D rather than flat with Skinny Minis, which is cool. These are XL Kraken tentacles, which I also already have a set of. I have noticed that, I'm hoping you'll be able to see that, the newer releases for Skinny Minis all have like what this item is. So if per se you got a set that was specific to a one-shot, if it was specific to a one-shot and it tells you at the top, then that makes it easier if you're not popping out all of the minis one by one and putting them in notebooks and what have you. Seeing at the top like, oh, these are the minions of Cragmaw Keep or something like that. Like that really helps you grab just the minis you want real quick. This is Monstrous Races 2. I don't recall seeing this before, so I'm down with that. And like I said before, there are fronts and backs to all the minis. This orientation is kind of weird, but I'm trying something new, as usual. Sorry. This is Undead 2, which I don't have a set of, but if you're playing Lost Mines of Phandelver, at least the original version, this is very helpful for the original version. I don't know if Phandelver and Below still contains the Flame Skull and all that stuff. I haven't actually read Phandelver and Below yet. The campaign that I'm running actually started off in Lost Mines of Phandelver. This is the Undead 1 set, which I already have copies of, but these are great, just like ghouls and ghasts and skeletons. Like, great. Little lich over there. Good, 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 good. This is the default Goblin set, which I need for later for reasons. By the time this video comes out, I won't have to worry, but there's a bunch of things in this box that I need for something my players will run into soon. But by the time this video comes out, they'll already be like, you son of a bitch. This is a Goblin set that you can get just regular Skinny Minis for. This is Villains Variety, which I feel like has some of the Undead set, some of the Goblin set. What else do we have? Looks like some of the Orc set, which you can get. I think this is Bandits, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember. This is a new version of pieces of older sets. Halfling Spellcaster Heroes. This was in Skinny Minis too, so I probably have another copy of this somewhere, which is nice. I'm going to attempt to actually get them on the camera. I apologize. Humans Spellcaster Heroes. This was in Skinny Minis too. Is one of the many things that they have there. I'm trying to get them all on the camera. Oh, I was wrong. These are huge. These are too big. These are huge. These are gargantuan, which is awesome, which means I don't have to make minis for that. And I see more bases in there, but we haven't gotten there yet. These are the nobles. So if you have people who... Most of these look like combat-based nobles. When I think of nobles, I don't think of people in combat. You know what I mean? These are the dwarves, combat heroes. So a whole bunch of the basic classes, and then some like dwarf-related paraphernalia. And then this one is Halflings, combat heroes. More of them. Some more paraphernalia, front and back. You got rogues and rangers, and these are good for DMs who are just starting out and like you're not 100% sure what you're gonna need. You get a little bit of everything out of Skinny Minis. These are the large bases, which is great. It's so good that I don't have to keep making them because I'm lazy. And because they're acrylic, you can, so if you don't have any condition markers or anything like that, you can just dry erase right on the bases what they are. And because they're clear, you can get non-clear Skinny Minis bases, but because they're clear, it'll be easier for you to just be like, sweet, 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 this guy's on fire, like that kind of stuff. That's pretty good. Next up, we got a big old purple worm. This is an XL. This is like a gargantuan dude. Purple worms are no joke. We got a fire giant. I definitely have another copy of him and another copy of that purple worm from either Skinny Minis 2 Kickstarter or last year's box. This is one of the new guys that came out in part of this one, the Warrior Angel, which is sweet. Oh, we got an Ancient White Dragon V2. I have another version of this. I have the V1, which is slightly different. This looks like an Ancient Green Dragon. Yep. If you guys want to get wrecked by an Ancient Green Dragon. I'm trying to figure out which way is right side up and which way is upside down, because to me, the camera is upside down. But I actually think this is the right side up for you guys. So I apologize if all the other ones have been upside down. This box is prepped and checked by a Fearsome Dragon. Quality control. Thanks, dude. This is the Wild Ride to Fireburst Ridge, which is a Goblin themed one-shot, which I need some stuff from. But this is like an ogre, so these two are large and the rest of them are medium or small, which is great because you get a whole variety of different sizes and shapes. I need this. But speaking of the stuff that comes that's terrain, this is a Goblin War Wagon, which they give you instructions for. It's part of the Wild Ride to Fireburst Ridge, which they gave us all the minis for in Skinny Minis Kickstarter 2, I believe. But I didn't have like the stat blocks for the goblins that I was running into. That was the problematic part. But now I have 2 of those war wagons, which is great. So the booklets are not always in the plastic bags, the rest of that one-shot, but this is the Toymaker's Gift. Like, this is a whole one-shot that you can run with its own enemies, and probably in the other box is going to have the minis for that. So we're not through that other box yet, but you get an entire one-shot with each of these books that have tables for stuff that can happen. You have like little help. You can design your own minions using the stats that are here already. So we have the Toymaker's Gift, the Clockwork Heist. I think Toymaker's Gift, no, there's another Christmas one, but I believe I already have a Clockwork Heist. I could be wrong. But like, these are great for if you're just starting out and you're not 100% sure what you want to do. Like, you could just run a session with this stuff. Now we get what I'm more used to seeing, which are the one-shots with the map, and then usually the minis are right behind it. So this is Race Against Doom, and it comes with its own battle map, which is great. Like, I understand some people want to play Theater of the Mind, I get that. I understand some people like to draw their own battle maps, but sometimes just having a battle map on the ready that you don't have to do anything for is great. The only qualm I have with the Wondrous one-shot battle maps, they are generally double-sided, so they have 2 different things going on. The only real problem I have with them is that you can see from this material that it is not like dry erase compatible. Like, you wouldn't want to mark any of this. So you have to find some other way to put markings on it if you need it. Like, I prefer, and even like the basic map templates that I make, I'll print out a 1-inch square grid, but then I'll laminate that page so that I can mark on it if I need to mark on it. I find that having the option is often better than like watching one of your players mark up your map and now it is permanently disfigured and you're just like, oh, why would you do that? So having the option there often, at least if not for peace of mind, like if you have very kind, respectful players that are not going to do that or not think of it, that's also good too, obviously. But peace of mind is a good thing to have when you're a DM. I believe these are going to be, yeah. So like I said, I'm more expecting the minis to be right behind. These are the minis for Race Against Doom. And the cool thing is, I hope you can see it here, it actually tells you on this piece what minis they're supposed to be. So like if you looked in the book Race Against Doom, you could figure out which monster or creature they're talking about and then find that name on the board for Skinny Minis. And when you find that name, then you can just whoop and throw that out. So I at least recommend taking a picture of all of your Skinny Minis, like all of these boards, just so that you know who goes where in case you need to look it up later. I do keep most of my Skinny Minis in the little Skinny Minis notebooks. But sometimes even I forget what they're supposed to be called. And like if there's no picture in the book and you just have to guess, sometimes it's easier if you just make sure to write down or take a picture of what everybody's name is. Like that's the simple way around it. Looks like these minis are for the next one. We got some dinosaurs, which is great. Remember, everybody is double-sided. Let me hold this up. This is, in fact, for... This is Dinosaur Predators. This is also Dinosaur Predators, in case you were wondering about some predators, prey relationships. And you get the Lost Lands of the Lizard Tyrant. So you're going to be in the jungle. I'm not going to show you each of the maps, because now that you know what they look like and about them, I feel like I don't need to take every single one of them out. But obviously, this is a jungle. If you were doing a campaign in Chult, this is probably the one that you're going to want. Most of the Wondrous one-shots as well, you can buy online separately. You don't have to only get them through Wondrous one-shots as a subscription service. You can buy each of them separately. Though obviously if you buy each of them separately with the shipping and handling cost, it's going to cost you more than if you bought the subscription service or if you just waited till the end of the year like I do because I'm cheap. Now this one's the Missing and the Mist. Another one that doesn't come out, didn't come in its own little baggie, but it's all here. This is the book. This is the map for it. I already showed you the book. Oh, these are cool! Look at this little maze! Oh, that's cool. This one's just like a magic portal where you... And like, again, you don't need to use these maps for exactly what's in the one-shot. Like, obviously, this would be a great map just to be like, there's cultists in the glade. You've been following them for months. It looks like all of their toil and trouble is about to come to fruition. What do you and your party do? Like, you don't have to use everything that you see in Wondrous One-Shots exactly the way that they're intended to be used. You could always just do them the way you want. Reuse anything. All these creatures, all these tokens, they can be whatever you want, because that's the beauty of D&D. Even the rule book is like, ha, fuck the rules. Like with the tieflings. Like, tieflings are only red and black. Right next to it, a purple tiefling. Okay, cool, fine, whatever. Gelatinous Gifts specifically was in last year's box. That means probably in the other box that we haven't gone through yet, there is going to be a mini of the Gelatinous Cube, which is super cool because you actually build it, and you can build it around the minis, so they're in the Gelatinous Cube. That is amazing design. Good job. Gelatinous Gifts map. Looks like a lot of goo. Welcome to the goo lair. Welcome to the goo lair. We got goo and goo. Oh, we got goo goo gaga. But not that way. I believe the 2022 big box came with 2 of those treasure chest looking Dungeon in a Box boxes, and then a much smaller version with a cool design. This is a pretty cool design. You've got your dragon on the front. You've got a crystal that's shackled. That's pretty cool. I think actually, unlike last year's where it was the extras that were in the extra box, it seems like most of the one-shots for the year are in this box. And not all of them just come with the minis, the book, and the map. Some of them have mini games that you can play or handouts that you can give out. So these are roll cards for some essentially mini game that you'll be playing during one of the one-shots. I really like these. They put in just little cards that you can have to say quality control and that someone here checked to make sure that this was okay. We've got the entire Bard party. If you really like bards, this is the set for you. And I believe this might be for, I don't think it's part of the last flight of the Sunset Knights. These look like dragon riders to me, which is what I'm into. Yup. Look at these. You get mounts. Dragon mounts. Come on. Isn't that cool? Who doesn't want to be a dragon rider? This looks like the map for the dragon riders. Oh, it looks like people are taking apart dragons. Don't do that. Oh, you get to fight up on the castle turrets. That's a good map, actually. I might reuse that. This one's just sad. Sorry, little Wyvern guy down there. Next up, you got the Fractured and the Forgotten, which kind of feels like, I'm not 100% sure if this is related, but this sounds a bit like the book in Candlekeep Mysteries, where the bard had a piece of magical crystal lodged in his chest, and it kind of makes him go crazy, so his people lock him away to make sure he doesn't hurt anyone else. Which is also, oh, this will be perfect for reasons. My players are going to be like, I don't like that he said that. Sorry. Could be helpful, though. You never know. Oh, there's a lot of crystal theme this time. That's a crystal golem if I ever saw one. Can't wait to find that many. Rock crystal golem. What's his CR? Is it stupid high? CR 4 for a golem? That's weak. Weak. I will say that a lot of the Wondrous One-Shots are usually for lower level parties. So like seeing, even though there's a really cool rock crystal golem, the only CR4 is kind of like, meh. But I mean, you can always take them and make them stronger. Nothing's stopping you from making these guys stronger. This looks like the Delver's Gambits. Oh, that's cool. This looks like the Delver's Gambits map. I'm having a little trouble refolding them, which is kind of weird. Then you got Dead in Limbo. The Slaw. Oh, he's CR 15. That's not a starting level monster, I tell you what. Oh, this looks cool. This is a very cool atmospheric map. Oh, this is like an MC Escher painting. I like it. Though I wouldn't want anybody to fall to their doom. A la Power Rangers. You know what I mean? House of Dying Shadows. Booga, 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 booga. Again, you get a whole one-shot in here. You get a map to go with it. You get minis. This is House of Dying Shadows minis. Let me hold them this way. I think this is right way up. I don't know. We're going to find out when this video comes out. Oh, there's multiple maps in a row? See, the problem, though, is you're not quite sure which map goes where if they're not in the plastic baggie. Oh, I don't like that. That looks like the gaping dragon's hole. Blech. Also, the way I said that out loud, nasty. I apologize. I'm going to guess this one goes to Days of Peace. Oh, this would have been a great one for shield meat. Not this side, obviously. This would have been a great map for my shield meat. This would have been perfect. Absolutely perfect. Went in for Days of Peace. It looks like at least this year there are way more dudes that are past like level 1 to 3 map. Whoa. Another big boy. A Crypt Golem. Look at him. He's gigantic. And then these are the Days of Peace minis. So I'm going to put you on top. This looks like somebody's house. Sorry, a very rich person's castle, probably. Oh, and this one says first floor or second floor, which is super helpful. The Web of Latrodectus. Oh, driders. Everybody loves a drider, don't they? This one gives you a lot of tips and tricks for making spider creatures, which tracks because all the minis are spiders. Yay! That's what everybody wants. Actually, there's driders here too, but yes. Oh, those are good swarm spiders minis, so you don't have to carry those. And some nice drow. You don't get a lot of drow. Minis, at least. Ah, this is a cool one. This is very atmospheric, which I appreciate. That's a cool wizard's tower if I ever saw one. Or, I mean, also Underdark because there's blood everywhere. Got one in a bag. The Last Stand at Dragon's End. That's more D&D than I've ever heard. This looks like a dragon's base of operations, which is cool. And you got some minis to go with it. Oh, and little kobold tokens. That's cool. Like a group of kobold tokens. No, those might be Dragonborn. Let me hold this up. Those are definitely Dragonborn. They could also be the Dragon Knight dudes from Dragonlance. I cannot think of their names. But they're like the basic cannon fodder soldiers from Dragonlance. Oh, you get a whole thing of player aid handouts. That's cool. Oh! These are for... Oh! So these icons for this one is to do like a really big battle. Cool! So those are like your armies getting stationed around the battle. So there's probably some kind of fodder rules, which I enjoy. Ah, here's more terrain. This looks like a portal to some unknowing hell. But it has its own stand, which is neat. They don't usually do that. And then we have... What do we have? We have some... Oh, Super Dungeon Melee guys! Because there's like a mini game with... it's like a gladiatorial mini game. Gladiatorial mini game called Super Dungeon Melee, which I think must be part of one of these, but I'm not 100% sure. But you got a really sick beholder that's like goo on him, a different treasure chest, which is great for your campaign, and they're color coded, I'm guessing rarity wise, because reasons. And then some more dragon type creatures and some more heroes for you to use in your campaigns. That was everything in the Dungeon in a Box. Oh, yeah, that was everything 2023 year-end special. 2023 special super clearance deal, which I highly recommend. To be honest, I'm probably not going to use any of the one-shots that are in here exactly the way they come, but the fact that I'm getting all these minis, all these bases, all these maps that I can reuse, like I said before, which I highly recommend, just reuse maps wherever you possibly can. Like, it's super helpful to you on many, many, many levels. Use what you can, and if you liked any of the specific one-shots that I showed you here, like the ones that had minis and the ones that come with all of them come with a book from Wondrous One Shots. All of them have a book and a map at least. Usually there's minis. It seems like this year, though, some of them didn't have minis, but it could just be that I popped them out earlier because they were in this box, but the actual pamphlet was in this box. Any of the Wondrous One-Shots that have already been released, you can order from their site by themselves. The same goes for like sets of minis, like the Goblin Warband and the Undead sets, and like Halfling Heroes, those kind of things. If you liked what you saw, if you think you might need minis for those specific creature types, you can go online and buy those separately. You don't have to get a big, huge box like this. But I just think getting all of these is a great deal, purchase price-wise, but also a great deal for DMs, especially if you're just starting out. Like Skinny Minis, stuff like Skinny Minis and flat plastic miniatures are great because you can get a whole ton of them and they won't take up that much space to store. So you'll always have stuff to work on later or to work with later when you're playing with your players in your campaign. Yeah, if you guys would like to see more content like this, there will be a ton more unboxings and talking about supplements and stuff in the future. There's actually going to be a whole series on this channel just about TTRPG supplements. And I just want to talk to you about them. And I just want to spread the love between players and get more people into it so they can have fun too, because D&D and just TTRPGs in general have become a big part of my life. I feel like that's honestly going to become like the next era for this channel. My main channel has had a bunch of eras, and right now I think we're heading into the TTRPG era where there's going to be a lot of content for that. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop playing video games. Obviously, I'm still going to play video games, but there will be a lot more TTRPG, D&D related content on the channel. If you'd like to support, you can check the links in my card. I have an affiliate link on Amazon and eBay, so you can go purchase what you want and I'll get a small cut of it. That's super helpful. Other ways to support me would be to click the join button here on this channel, where you get almost the same rewards as you would if you became a patron of mine on Patreon. It's just the way that YouTube rules are laid out for membership. I can't do some of the same things, so there's like a little bit of difference, but it's essentially the same thing. If you become a YouTube member, then you get access to channel-only emotes, which I think are kind of cool. And if you just want to like and subscribe, obviously that helps too. So I will see you guys and gals later in the next one. Until next time.